Hello, I'm Danielle Meadows, a digital learning coordinator for Wake County Public School Systems. And in this Canvas chat, we're going to be talking about the utilization of pages as well as the organization of modules.
Hi, I am Clayton Warren. I am a teacher at Panther Creek High School. I teach engineering design honors and technology engineering and design. I'm on the Canvas team here. I'm a BT2, and so I've just been here for 2 years, and this is just my second year of Canvas. But I am really enjoying not only getting to know the tools that I'm using, but also being able to build around Canvas so that once I'm no longer a BT, I have everything set up so that my life is a whole lot easier. Let's take a look at my homepage because I think that it kind of encompasses a lot of the best practices that I use with my Canvas page. If we look at my page here, I've got a couple of things set up. Number one is I've got some buttons here that are going to take us to some different areas. I like to tell my students that these are really the most important things in my Canvas. The announcements, the syllabus, my class expectations, but most importantly, my modules. My modules are where I house everything for my course. That's what I use the most. That's what my students are going to use the most. Additionally, on my homepage, I have a week at a glance, and that way students can see what's coming up, what their assignments are going to be. If we have a test or a quiz coming up later the week, they can see that. But additionally, I try to keep everything consistent in terms of the way I label things, in terms of the icons that I use, and I'll talk more about that. But everything that I do in my modules, I try to keep consistent in my homepage and in my calendar.
So it's helpful because it's just like right there and it has the whole week, and I have like pretty bad memory, so like as soon as I leave the class when I'm coming in, I'm like, I don't remember what we did yesterday, and it helps a lot more than agenda, because when teachers make like a full agenda and then there's like a snow day, everything gets pushed back one day and that's hard to remember. But since this is updated like weekly, he can like fix that immediately, which is helpful. And also when you're absent, you can see like exactly what you did on that day, and he'll have like how it's listed in Canvas so that you can just like click on it.
You can see a little bit of what my module setup looks like. What I do is I have my units within the overall categories of modules, and then I put pages inside of those units. So everything that I add starts in the modules section. I start by going into the modules tab, and then I can go in and I can go to add either a page or an assignment or a link to that module that I'm working in. Let's take a look at a page that I've created. We can just jump into a page that I've created in the past. Every page I try to really leverage so that my students are as organized and understand the process that I'm following as possible. And so I try to include each of the following things in every single page: an agenda, a to-do, and an if absent section. So these can really vary. Oftentimes in my if absent sections, they're just instructions with maybe links to other assignments that they need to reference, or sometimes I'll use Canvas Studio and create a quick video, just 1 to 2 minute thing that students can look at. And I think sometimes it's easier for them to see a video than text and understand what I'm talking about.
It's really easy to access. Like everything's where it's supposed to be, and all the assignments are really easy to get to, and turning in things is really simple.
So here's one of my pages, for example, that I have created for my students. At the top, I have my agenda, and you can see that I have some links in here, some instructions in here, including a video for them to watch that we're going to watch as a class. Beneath that, I have a PDF that I've embedded that has some instructions for the day. I have a to-do section, which has their kind of deliverables that I want them to get done that day. And then I have an if absent section. Again, you can see that this is about a minute long. It just has some quick things for students to catch up on. I think that this is really valuable, not only just for the students who are gone that day, but also for my students who are in class. I've got some students who need to hear instructions more than once, or some students who, if they came to class late, can use this, and that way it saves me the time to walk around, talk to students who need help, while the students who are just asking questions can look back at this video and find everything that they need for the day.
So as a student athlete, I tend to miss this period like multiple times on match days. So I tend to go back into the Canvas and look at whatever we did in that class, and the absence section has like a video that explains what we do, and I just take a look at that and I understand what we need to do, and I just make up the work so I don't fall behind in class.
Really, the biggest thing that I use on a day-to-day basis that takes me no more than 30 seconds, and so this is one of my favorite things in Canvas, is just the icons. At Panther Creek, we have 2 categories for assignments. We have major assignments and minor assignments, minors being their day-to-day assignments and majors being their big projects and tests. And so what I've done for my students is any major I label with a red circle, and any minor assignment I label with a blue square. This helps them to know just from the start essentially how much time they need to dedicate to an assignment. I want to have clear expectations with my students, and I think that those labels help the students with organization, with expectations, and just kind of not being like snuck up on when it comes to their assignments.
It kind of helps me order everything by importance. So the red circles, those are all the major assessments, so they're the stuff I got to do first. And then the blue squares, those are just the minor stuff. I can do those later. And then down here, the blue, not blue, but the green check marks, they're not graded, so yeah.
Additionally, if we have a large project, I try to, again, just help a lot with my students' organizational experience. And so what I'll do is I'll have, here's this red circle, which shows that it's a major assignment. But then beneath that, I have everything indented from day to day beneath that. And so they can see, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Each of those are a different day. And so they can just kind of go down the progression of what they need to be working on that day. So something that I like to tell my fellow staff members here at Panther Creek, because we're all on Canvas this year, and some of them are more advanced in it, and some of them are having a more difficult time, is that try to do just anything that you can that's going to help you out in the future. So, for example, I tell teachers, do what you can. If that means just adding the icons, add the icons this year. It's quick, it's easy, and it's really manageable. If that means adding in things like studio pages or having a week at the glance, great. That's going to help you out in the future because your students are going to understand the process, you're going to have it built, and then next year you're going to have it ready to go from your past Canvas courses. Additionally, it also not only helps in the long run, but I'm already seeing it just within this year help my students. My students are more organized, I feel like, than they were in the past. My first year, I didn't use some of these things, and now, for example, the icons and the week at a glance, my students are asking me questions about things coming later this week, and they know what's coming up, and then they can ask me the questions that they need to get answered ahead of time instead of when it comes to day of, and that is really, really helpful. Additionally, it's really helped me as a teacher within my classroom. My students are finding Canvas just as a helpful tool, which saves me a lot of time to answer those kind of daily agenda questions that a lot of students have. And so I can walk around helping students with their work, and they can jump into Canvas and know what the instructions are, what they need to do, and then independently work on those things without having me be a part of that process, where that frees up my time to be able to walk around and talk about questions that are more content related that students might have.
If you need any support with Canvas, please reach out to your area DLC. If you do not know who your area DLC is, please go to dlc.wcpss.net for support.